Hello and welcome. You're watching My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. We've got some fireworks happening in Dubai with Mumbai, Karen Pollard and Nathan Coulter-Nile giving Mumbai 54 in the last 3 overs, which means a vitamin shot straight into the veins. Get them up at the end of 20 overs. This is how Mumbai has ended with 176 for 6. I tell you what, at the end of the 17th over, it didn't look like they'd get anywhere close to this one. 155, 160 perhaps, but 176, geez, that is good. Pollard 34 of 12, and you also had Coulter-Nile 24 of 12, which just takes me back to our pre-show where I said Coulter-Nile is a very good bat, but I didn't get any other prediction right? Because it was Lisa who got her score prediction right and is our My 11 Circle Badge of Honor winner, our expert of the day. Well done. Well, you said 175, did you? You said 176 on the dot, 176.
So I reckon I should get some extra points.
You do. We're giving you 1,000 extra points. And
wow.
Just like whose line is it anyway? They're worth nothing. So take 10,000 extra points. Just take them. Just take them. You can trade them in. They're coupons. You can trade them in at your buffet breakfast at your hotel tomorrow morning.
I can't leave the room.
She
what
doesn't
do
get
you
buffet
understand?
breakfast.
Oops.
But I think he knows that when he was telling you.
Sorry about that. Terrible. But Joy, was terrible today for the Punjab bowlers. And I feel like KL Rahul may have got a crick in his neck in those last 3 overs.
Absolutely. They seem to be doing everything right. Couple of things went wrong and a very interesting one. One was Jordan did not bowl his complete quota.
Yep.
Somewhere they messed up in the calculation that Arshdeep came for that 18th over, which went for 22 as well. And that's basically what started it. Jordan bowled the over before that, went for just 5. And then Arshdeep came for the 18th and went for 22. So there's a bit of a miscalculation that might have happened. And that last overs was what happened. Otherwise, if you see the bowling up front, Maxwell's done well for them. Shami's done very well for them. Even giving 12 in that last over, he went for just 30. Arshdeep did well for them up front. He just got massacred in that last over. And Jordan, again, that final over of 20 was what cost them. But otherwise, they'd look at it and say 17 overs, we had Mumbai under control, as always.
Yeah, but that's what, Lisa, that's what you get, right? When you've got this, it's like if Krunal doesn't get you, Hardik will. If Hardik doesn't get you, Pollard will. And if Pollard doesn't get you, now Coulter-Nile will.
Yeah, you look at the Mumbai side and their batting, and you look at the strike rates. No one was under 100. Yeah. So even though that didn't really trouble the scorers that much, they didn't stick around and eat up balls. That's probably the difference between this side and other teams within the competition. Like, what was it? 112 for Rohit, Quinton 123, 100 for Ishan Kishan, 113 for Krunal, Hardik 200, Pollard 283, and then Nathan Coulter-Nile 200. So, that's why those guys are sitting at the top of the ladder.
Yeah, they are. And we'll also go from this straight into the bowling card again and just have a look at the dot balls that have been bowled, because Mumbai does this well. They end up negating dot balls. Today they did, because today Punjab bowled a fair share of dot balls. How much is that? 29, 35, 42, 44. That's 47 dot balls.
No,
Joy?
Punjab bowled brilliantly in the first 15, 16 overs.
47 dot balls and they still get to 176. It's just a testament to their later over hitting.
Punjab is like Delhi 6. Fantastic start, didn't know how to end it. Basically they did
the movie Delhi 6.
Yeah.
Where have you invoked that movie from after 10 years? 12 years?
It was a brilliant film. They didn't know how to end the film. And that's exactly what this is. Brilliant for 17 overs. They didn't know how to end it.
Can I tell you, I have a theory about almost all Hindi films, that the interval plate should be replaced by the end plate and they'll all be classics. Right? Because they just go nuts in the second half. But that's what, today it wasn't even the second half. It was just at the climax, right at the end. KL Rahul will be looking at that 18, 19, 20 and saying, geez, what happened here? 54 runs given away, 5 fours, 4 sixes, lines and lengths all over the place. Pollard and Coulter-Nile wreaking absolute havoc. Lisa, what does Punjab take in? I mean, you're still fine. We're looking at 54 of the last 3, but we're looking at 176 in Dubai and we're going, all right, I mean, it's not breakneck, right? It's not a mountain that we can't climb with Chris Gale and Rahul and Mayank in form, and Puran has got us runs, and it's not It's not unassailable.
No, it's not. But they will require the top three to probably get 70% of the runs.
Yeah.
They need to, and you need to have one of those guys in right at the end.
They can't do it the way Mumbai did, right? They can't construct the innings the way Mumbai did. Yeah.
No, but because you've got Pooran and Maxwell, we haven't seen Huda yet throughout this tournament. So, you're expecting the top three to take the bulk, and Pooran, Maxwell, potentially that firepower. They've got the ability, like a Pollard and Coulter-Nile and the Pandya brothers. But if they spend too much time out in the middle, I don't know based on their form, except for Pooran. Pooran's already shown us he can bat time and his strike rate's up, but Maxwell was still scratching our heads waiting for it.
Yeah, and today Punjab will be hoping that it doesn't even come to Maxwell, that maybe the big three at the top can sort this out for him. But, the Mumbai bowling.
Yeah,
the Mumbai bowling, let's have a look at it. A brilliant and a varied bowling attack, which Rohit Sharma, the captain, uses really well. Joy, that's such an underrated factor, isn't it?
It is. But the interesting thing is that they actually look at it. They are using now just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowlers they're using. Hardik is not bowling. So really, they have that one cushion, which is that, if Kunal goes there, right now they're sort of sheltering Nathan Coulter-Nile, and he's actually worked for them, because what he's done is they talk about, Pollard talked about the engine room of, they are like the Volkswagen Beetle. The engine room is at the back,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, So now that engine room has just got extended, because it used to be Pollard, Hardik Pandya, Kunal Pandya, and now
Correct.
Pollard, Hardik Pandya, Kunal Pandya, and Nathan Coulter-Nile. 4 guys who can biff it, instead of having. Now that's where these guys will be in trouble.
While we talk about, of course, the sort of the late game shenanigans and the big hitting, we must also talk about Quinton de Kock. There were 3 wickets that were down in the power play, but he stuck around. He made sure that he stabilized it to a point where he got his half century, and Lisa stabilized it to a point where these guys could get a launch pad to take off.
Yeah, he ensured that the scoreboard kept ticking whilst wickets were falling around him. More often than not, sometimes players go in their shell, or we've seen in the previous game as well that the set batter goes out at the same time. So you've got 2 new batters coming in. He was quite aware of the fact that is a coach killer. So he put his head down and made sure that he got up the other end and he kept ticking it over. And that did allow these guys to come in and have a little bit of freedom, to be honest, because they weren't coming in the 12th or the 11th over. They were coming in at the back end where they're used to.
Yeah, so there you go. It's 176 is what Mumbai have put on the board. Punjab, we'll just make you look at the points table real quick. Punjab has only 2 wins in this entire season. This is their 9th game. They've had only 2 wins, which have been both against Bangalore. Home and away, if you can call it that. And they will be wanting today to look at it pretty seriously and say, guys, the only chance we have is to win everything from now till the end of the league, Joy.
Yeah, and they'll be going hammer and tongs because they are desperate. And the thing about it is, it's interesting because, I just want to take you back to Quinton's batting. Yeah. Quinton batted for just 43 of the 99 balls that he was in the crease. Normally, a guy like that dominates. But what he did was, from the guy who was the attacker in the last match, he became the sheet anchor in this match. And that's fascinating. When you have batsmen who can switch between being attack and sheet anchors, both Rohit and he can do it at will. Yeah. That makes that team so much more flexible. Then those 3 wickets down in the first 6 does not cost them matches.
He's got 4 half centuries in the last 5 games, and that's just gold. And he's your wicketkeeper, and a very good wicketkeeper. And he's
but just see the strike rate today. Yeah. See the strike rate today because he needed to play sheet anchor. Yeah, the last match, he was the attacker.
Yeah, those are healthy strike rates. And you look at 123 then and you say, oh my God, compared to those others, what was going on with him today? But if you put it in context, you'd say that this innings is perhaps maybe one of the most superior ones from the previous, if you count all of them together, just because of the context, just because Mumbai had lost 3 in the power play. It's something that they're very not used to. They're not used to losing 3 in the power play. So de Kock also must have been kind of surprised, saying, where are you guys going? What's going on? Is there a party I haven't been invited to? What? 3 of you left. But sorry, Lisa.
I was going to say, it just shows you the caliber of player as well. I think he's really matured. Obviously, captaincy for South Africa has certainly helped him maybe read the game and know his role even better. I mean, he didn't start the tournament on fire, 33, 1, 14 and 0, but then to kind of back it up and then, as you mentioned, Joy, play an innings like that, he's going in the right direction for the Indians.
Okay, so we, of course, now will be signing out. We'll see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. I know that Joy's been waiting to address the issue of the super over of the first game today, but I want to give you enough time to just stretch your legs out on the hammock and discuss it. Not this 1-2 minutes. Not like, Joy, how do you feel about the super over with Hyderabad getting nothing nobody, they got leg buys, right? That's how they did leg buys. They got it with leg buys. Is how Kolkata won. And 2020, staying true to form, Joy, Kolkata won a super over.
I tell you, Kolkata has won a super over. Now, I think the only team that hasn't won a super over is CSK so far. They're the only team in the IPL who hasn't won a super over. Kolkata's track record was like England used to be in the 90s. Every time there was a penalty shootout, you knew England would lose that match.
Fair enough. Well, it's time for us to go. Before we go, I'm going to quickly ask Lisa and Joy where they see the needle. A slight advantage to any team going into the second half?
Big advantage to Mumbai.
Joy?
Huge advantage Mumbai. Having said that, I'd love Kings 11 to win because it'll just keep the tournament open, but huge advantage Mumbai.
I'm going to say advantage Punjab.
I like it.
For no reason. Don't question me why. Don't question it, right? I'm just saying it so it's an interesting game. Nobody likes these one-sided encounters on a Sunday night. Come on. We're staying awake. Lisa, it's 4 a.m. for Lisa. Right? Come on.
Yeah. I just don't want no super over for this one.
No super over.
So yeah, I think we will have to talk to the Kings 11 people about the KLA fund. Keep Lisa awake. Keep her interested in the game. Don't give it up early. Bat. Get the game close at least. She needs to stay awake for our sake.
Yeah. Or otherwise finish it in 12. Well, that's going to happen. Come on. Unless Gale just goes absolutely nuts. Well, you never know. It's just still going to be fun to watch. Well, that's all we have time for on My 11 Circle Presents Cricbuzz Live. We're going to see you in a bit. Thanks for watching.